The first prediction for today is for the game between the Boston Celtics and Philadelphia 76ers. The Celtics are walking into Philadelphia with a little bit of momentum, but this trip won't be easy. They finally started to find their rhythm after a rough start, snapping back-to-back wins, including that impressive blowout over the Cavaliers. What I liked most in that one was how Boston adjusted without Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown took control, Derek White handled the tempo, and Sam Hauser came off the bench firing like he had ice in his veins. They moved the ball, spaced the floor, and reminded everyone why Boston is never a team you can count out, even shorthanded. Now, they'll have to prove that performance wasn't just a one-night show. Facing Philly on the road, with that crowd roaring and the Sixers chasing their fifth straight win, this game's going to be a gut check. The 76ers are red-hot offensively. Maxey looks like a man possessed, dropping almost 40 a night, and rookie VJ Edgecombe's been a perfect spark alongside him. Add Oubre crashing the boards and Embiid back in the mix, and you've got a Philly squad that's been running teams out of the gym. But here's what I see. The Sixers' numbers might look great, yet they've been flirting with danger. They've had to claw back from double-digit deficits, relying heavily on Maxey's heroics. That's not sustainable every night, especially against a disciplined team like Boston that can lock in defensively and force tough shots. The Celtics are one of the best at limiting opponents' field goal percentage, and if they keep Philly off rhythm early, this game flips in their favor. I'm also watching Boston's perimeter shooting. They're second in the league in three-point attempts, and if they get hot from deep, that short line becomes a gift. Brown and White have been steady, Pritchard's playmaking has improved, and even Quetta's energy inside has given this team a defensive lift. It's clear they've accepted the challenge of playing without Tatum, and they're starting to look like a unit built on grit rather than star power. So yeah, Philly's got the firepower and home edge, but I think Boston's recent wake-up call changes things. They know what it takes to beat the Sixers. They've done it plenty of times before. I expect them to come out focused, slow the pace, and make it a battle of execution rather than a shootout. My prediction: the Boston Celtics cover the 2.5-point spread. The second prediction for today is for the game between the New York Knicks and the Chicago Bulls. Alright, let's talk hoops. The Knicks are rolling into Chicago to face a Bulls squad that's been lighting up the league early. 4 straight wins for the Bulls, all at home, and fans in the Windy City are starting to believe something special might be brewing. But I've seen enough early season hype trains to know when a team's due for a speed bump. And I think this is where it happens. The Bulls have been impressive, no doubt. Mattis Buzelis looks like he's been in the league for 5 years, not 1. Josh Giddey's floor vision and energy have been contagious, and Vucevic continues to control the glass. They're shooting over 50% from the field and running the floor with real confidence. But let's be honest, they've faced teams still figuring themselves out. The Knicks? That's a different animal. New York started the season hot, knocking off the Cavs and Celtics before running into 2 roadblocks in Miami and Milwaukee. Both were tough road games, both against elite competition. But this group is built to handle adversity. Jalen Brunson has been flat-out surgical, 36 points against the Bucks, creating offense out of nothing and keeping the team's rhythm alive. Mikal Bridges continues to show why he's one of the best two-way wings in the game, and Karl-Anthony Towns, even after a rough shooting night, is still a walking matchup problem for any big man in the East. The Knicks' defensive system under Mike Brown is elite. They don't just contest shots. They grind you down possession after possession. They're top of the league in limiting second-chance opportunities, and that's going to matter against a Chicago team that thrives on energy and offensive boards. Once the Knicks start controlling the pace, this game will take on their rhythm. Slower, more deliberate, more physical. That's New York basketball. Now, I know the Bulls crowd will be loud, and they've been covering every spread so far, but you can't keep cashing tickets forever. Eventually, regression shows up, and I think it walks right into the United Center wearing blue and orange tonight. The Knicks are simply deeper, more experienced, and more disciplined. Their bench can hang with anyone, and if Towns finds his groove early, this one could get away from Chicago fast. I've been on the Bulls train a few times this season and made good money with them, but sometimes you've got to know when to hop off. This feels like that night. I believe the Knicks make a statement, lock in defensively, and remind everyone they're still one of the toughest squads in the East. My prediction: The Knicks win and cover the 3.5-point spread. The third prediction for today is for the game between the Trail Blazers and the Nuggets. All right, let's break down this clash between the Blazers and the Nuggets at Moda Center. The Nuggets have been rolling, 3 straight wins, top-tier shooting efficiency, and Nikola Jokic doing Nikola Jokic things, stacking triple-doubles like it's a routine workout. They're leading the league in assists, field goal percentage, and free throws, and they just dismantled New Orleans by 34 points. When Denver gets that kind of rhythm, they're nearly impossible to slow down. But here's the catch. Denver has looked a bit mortal on the road. Away from Ball Arena, they don't always carry that same swagger. They're only average against the number as road favorites going back to last season, and they've struggled to cover in Portland before. The Moda Center crowd brings the noise, and that building has given the Nuggets fits for years. Now, Portland's no pushover. This is a young, fearless team. They play fast, attack the rim, and light it up from deep. Jrue Holiday has taken command of the offense. Deni Avdija is proving he can lead, and Jeremy Grant continues to bring that veteran balance. Against Utah, they exploded for 46 points in one quarter and survived a late scare. That's a sign of growth. They also lead the league in steals and force more turnovers than anyone right now. That hustle gives them extra possessions and keeps them in games, even against elite opponents. I like how the Blazers are finding chemistry despite missing key names like Lillard and Henderson. Their bench is contributing, their energy is contagious, and when they play at home, they've been money against the spread. History also sides with them. The home team has won and covered in each of the last 4 meetings between these two. Denver still has the talent edge, no doubt. Jokic can dissect any defense. Jamal Murray, if healthy, gives them another offensive gear, and Aaron Gordon's two-way game has been sharp. But something tells me this spot favors Portland. Denver's been cruising, and sometimes a team like Portland catches a contender slightly off guard, especially one that's been feasting at home and thrives on chaos. I expect the Blazers to make this one ugly for Denver. Scrappy defense, second chance buckets, and a wild pace that tests the Nuggets' legs. My prediction, the Trail Blazers rise at home, cover the 5.5-point spread, and might even flirt with an upset. I'm riding with Portland to make this game a real fight. The fourth prediction for today is for the game between the Los Angeles Clippers and the New Orleans Pelicans. I'm looking at this spot, and I can't talk myself into New Orleans. They roll into the Intuit Dome on a skid, and the tape keeps showing the same issues: stagnant half-court offense, cold shooting, and third-quarter faceplants. That Denver loss told the story: 11 points in a quarter, heavy isolation, and too few easy looks. Even when Zion is out there, the spacing shrinks and the ball sticks. Add a tough West Coast swing, and it feels like tired legs plus shaky confidence. The Clippers aren't perfect, but at home, they're a different animal. I expect a bounce back after that ugly night versus Golden State. The formula is simple. Let Harden orchestrate. Let Kawhi hunt mismatches from the elbows, and feed Zubac inside to punish a Pelicans front line that hasn't finished possessions on the glass. When LA keeps the turnovers down and plays inside out, the shots get a lot cleaner, and the defense is already good enough to squeeze you. Matchup-wise, LA can switch most actions, show bodies at the nail, and live with contested jumpers. New Orleans has leaned on isolation and has struggled to create paint-to-perimeter kickouts. If the Pelicans don't manufacture early offense, they get stuck in the mud. Meanwhile, the Clippers' rim protection plus disciplined closeouts should mute those catch-and-shoots that New Orleans desperately needs to fall. I'm also factoring in rhythm and rest. The Clippers are at home with time to reset sets and tighten late clock execution. The Pelicans are on a 3-game road run and just got hit with back-to-back blowouts. If LA wins the shot quality battle, fewer wasted trips, more paint touches. The scoreboard will show it by the middle of the third. Bottom line for my channel, I'm backing the veteran outfit that defends, rebounds, and values the ball in their own building. I expect LA to control tempo, win the middle quarters, and pull away late. My prediction, I'm on the Clippers to win and cover the 10-point line. I trust LA to handle business at home and cash this by double digits.